Have I started streaming? End stream? Does that mean I have already begun? And there we go. Now I just want to make sure that everyone hears me, so make sure to comment in the chat and let me know. Today I have a particularly decadent story to share of social decay. And it's about a mainstream media veteran journalist. I believe she's been active for 2 decades. Her career began in 91 when she worked for the youth magazine, became a columnist for a major paper. And yeah, basically a few decades of being a feminist author and journalist and involved in media production. Basically a media icon who decided to become an OnlyFans MILF. Here's a quote from this story was going viral on Twitter. I believe it was around a week ago. I recognize the name because I've seen it before in radical feminist context, and I wanted to see what it was about. And this shows up as a quote because there was massive controversy. Quote, "Every media wants me to speak out about my decision, but I'd rather sell my pussy and thongs on OnlyFans than give myself for free to radio, TV, and magazines." End of quote. And that's just a sample of what we're gonna talk about today. Yes. I hope you're stoked. Loud and clear? Okay, you guys can hear me. Sweet. Then allow me to continue. Now, I had something really annoying happen recently before we get started. I made a video about how Christian refugees are the ones who have been burning the Quran in Sweden lately, creating widespread outrage. And Swedish people decided to side with the Islamists. In fact, 53% of Swedes want to ban Quran burnings, and only around 30-something% want to, allow blasphemy/democracy. Like a third of Swedish people believe in democracy. It's insane. Well, YouTube decided to age restrict that video and kill the outreach because, I used some clips, some meme footage of WWE wrestler legend Iron Sheik to illustrate what the average Muslim debater sounds like, at which point the mere profanity coming out of his mouth was enough for YouTube to deem it to be some kind of molestation. This just shows how hard it is to make videos on this platform nowadays. It's insane that swearing can be enough to get an 18+ rating. Not even movies and cinema and TV is that bad. So I decided to do a re-upload that's censored. Feel free to look up this video on my channel and click like on it, because that's another thing I'm gonna lead into today is I've discovered that clicking like on videos, the reason why every YouTuber nags about it is because algorithms nowadays are pretty much sculptured after how many likes a video gets. The more likes, the more outreach, and it also works better than the subscribe button, because the more you click like on a channel, the more that channel shows up in your feed. It's a way to basically mold your feed and decide what you want to see. So the more you click like on my videos, the more notified you will get of my videos, the more I'll show up in your feed, and it helps the video reach more as well. So that's pretty much the best way to fight censorship nowadays that I've discovered. And feel free to hit the like button if you want to support this video's message and my channel overall. Now, This OnlyFans feminist MILF, I believe is the correct terminology, has been talked about a little bit before. She recently published an essay a few months before the OnlyFans controversy, where the headline goes, "And that's why I chose to live with a handful of different men." As if anyone fucking asked, but sure. Talks about why she took the step into a polyamorous marriage. Quote, "After 28 years of marriage, I finally realized quickly that I can't just live with only one man ever again," end of quote. And a huge whore thing to say. Then basically the article is about how I've never felt like I fit in except for now. For the first time in my life, I've encountered people who accept me and aren't judgmental, anxious, mean, jealous. Yeah, sure. If that's how you want to describe the reaction. Is she talking about her husband here? That sounds like, I don't know, that sounds like, if you're a person who is completely without any inhibitions, people would probably be a bit on their toes around you. Not mean or jealous, but just like, what the fuck are you even doing? Look at this headline. Case in point. Another article that was posted this same year is, "Men want to sleep with me but not do anything serious. Linda has always been told that she's weird from the parents of friends, now also from men who like to have sexual relations with her, but then choose other women to be girlfriends. Quote, men love to sleep with me because I'm this is a word in Swedish, I don't know if it's used in other countries, because I'm because I'm porn-esque. I don't know how to translate this. Men love to have sex with me because I'm like pornography, and then they take home some blondie doll to their mommy on Christmas." End of quote. That's weird. It's just weird. Because I just can't buy it. I buy that they wouldn't want to take you home to their mom on Christmas, but men love to sleep with me because I'm very porno slut-esque is a sentence I'm gonna be dubious to. However, she does have a what seems to be a successful OnlyFans where okay, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Try to follow with me here. This is a feminist that spent decades hounding other women for mere modeling gigs. The kind of feminist that would think of advertising as oppressive patriarchal tyranny, known for going after numerous female Swedish celebrities for deciding to do, well, I mean, this is a magazine cover, so I'm pretty sure I can show it, deciding to do just stuff like this. I mean, just basic modeling pictures, nothing special, really. This is a feminist that would harass women for just the slightest perceived contribution to objectification in society. And now she's flip-flopped so hard you can read her menu consisting of ass to mouth, wet, squirting, whipping. It's not here, but other people have commented on the quite bold BDSM she also engages in, yes. And it's just the hypocrisy, I guess, that's caused this to go viral. OnlyFans literally saved my life She writes while being in her how old is she? 49. Wow, 50 years old with 3 kids. And this is the article that made her trend. Her presence on OnlyFans has woken great attention, and now she shares her story to why the platform saved her. And basically she talks about how she started doing porn as a feminist legend because financial reasons. I've had it tough economically, and now I can afford living in my apartment, going to the gym, buying better food, new shoes, makeup to my kids. All of a sudden I can fund my workout, my housing. I mean, basically, you suck at being a journalist and a writer, so no one wants to pay you enough for that, but you want to live in the hip inner city of whatever hipster dungeon you're residing in, whatever whore of Babylon great town you're living in, and you become a whore just for the luxury of it, when you could easily just, I don't know, develop a skill instead, resettle into a different career. Yeah. Also, she talks about having a disease that gives her diarrhea attacks. And... Oh, that makes me think about the ass to mouth on the menu earlier. Gah! Change the channel, Marge! Yikes! I hope those diarrhea attacks aren't interfering with your OnlyFans production, old lady. Skugge writes she has to afford going to the gym twice a day and jogging to ease the pains and diarrhea attacks she suffers because of her Addison disease. A disease meaning your body stops producing cortisol and you start shitting yourself. Also known as being a trucker. Sorry, I don't mean to trivialize this severe illness, but this channel is about laughing, okay? Now, yeah, that was basically it. That was basically her defense. Did it for the money. And there's been like so many articles about this where look who's made a comeback successfully. Oh, my Swedish audience knows why this is funny. I'm not gonna get into it with too much of a backstory. But anyway, too many articles about this stuff, and it's basically split into 2 different camps, where one camp wants to do, a bunch of radical feminists that basically want to describe the mere presence of OnlyFans as trafficking, which it's not. It's skeezy, you know, but it's not trafficking. And they want to describe any kind of pornography as patriarchal, any kind of sex work as oppressive, patriarchal, blah, 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 buzzwords. The other side wants to ignore the fact that this feminist icon has been hounding women for objectification in like a few decades and has now become a straight up whore. So instead, they're writing cringy shit like "Je suis Linda Skugge" as like a defense because they see her as an icon against cancel culture and moralism. Ah, yes. Yeah, sure. Why don't you compare this to Charlie Hebdo, right? Je suis Charlie. You know, freedom of speech, taking a stance against Islamism. Sure is an appropriate mantra you found here, isn't it? No, it's fucking dumb. Okay? It's dumb. Obviously, what's making people upset is the hypocrisy. Just imagine knowing a person that spends 2 decades harassing people for doing something, shit-talking something, investing all their time into attacking something, and then when their rent gets a little low, they just flip-flop and become the most elaborate of whatever they were attacking. I mean, that's just, by the very least, annoying. that kind of inconsistency is something people have a right to be annoyed at, because it's an issue of integrity and character, and whether or not you should even be taken seriously as a person who who tries to make their living preaching on virtue. You know, it's an issue of false prophets, is what it is. The funny thing about Sweden is that I notice a clear distinction in how sex work and prostitution is discussed in socialist Sweden versus capitalist America. In America, it's more an issue of, is it moral? Is it good for our children? Whereas in socialist Sweden, it's straight up feminist dogma trying to define all forms of sex work as sucking up to the man. You know what I mean? Some kind of selling out against your gender, making it weird, almost like religiously political. So it's actually rare to see feminists and leftists in Sweden defending sex work. It's never really described as empowering. OnlyFans doesn't really get... Sure, you'll find the occasional article, but it's not really described as empowering to the same degree as in American media. In America, you have more of a business mentality. You're like, well, if you want to fucking do that stupid shit to yourself for entertainment, then go at it. It's not my business. That's more of the American way. And so they end up focusing more on the actual issues. Namely, what will happen to a generation that's sold the idea that it's a viable, empowering option. It's not, right? So there's been a lot of back and forth between feminists and feminists on this in a way that's kind of like just boring, because it frames the whole thing in a weird way. I mean, here's a tweet that made people upset. Advice to poor single mothers in the near future is going to be, quote, eat oatmeal and get OnlyFans. Feeling hungry? Well, why don't you publish your pussy and treat the public to some anal? Yeah, that's a good slogan. Don't be surprised if they steal that one away from you. I feel like sex work as a topic, I mean, my audience is 96% male. I checked the statistics today. It was quite funny. 96% male. So asking them, what do you think about sex work, is really not the same as asking women. When you ask women, what do you think about sex work, it's, hey, could you consider doing it? Or do you judge people who do it? When you ask a man, no one's even thinking the question, would you consider doing it? Because no one wants to fuck you. You know that. No man is walking around feeling like worshipped or showered with pussy. And if they are, it's usually not good pussy. You know, if you're a rich guy and you're attracting tons of women throwing themselves at you, you're not attracting good women. You're attracting women that kind of see your status on your nice, pretty stuff, and they're gonna want to monetize it, get a piece. You know, it's better to dress poor, if you know what I mean. So, not a good magnet, not a good pussy magnet. No. If you ask a guy, now consider this: if a guy wants to do sex work, 50% of his clients are gonna be men. So asking a guy if he wants to do sex work or what he thinks about sex work as a job, you're basically asking him, do you want to take up the ass for money? That's the gender difference in approaching this question, and that's what it's really about. You know, would you like to take it up the ass? You probably wouldn't, huh? And the other question that's relevant to you as a male is, would you date someone who's done sex work? And you probably wouldn't, most of you, for obvious reasons. So So that's what the real question is. It's not something political. It's not something about how some evil elite of men benefit from selling women, blah blah blah. No, it's really a relationship and labor issue, right? Also, do you defend other people's right to take it up the ass for money? That's the third question, right? For women, it's would you do it, and what do you think about people who do it? I feel like there's a difference. So I'm not quite happy with this debate. I find it pretty boring. Go back and forth about the political stuff of it. I just find it weird. Now, 2005, this media icon, OnlyFans MILF, wrote an article complaining about women who shave, because she wants every cave to be bushy. She wants every woman to be hairy and bushy and French, and she wants everything to feel like France. But as a certain wise man once said, I wouldn't go to France. France is no longer France. So, quote, to the girls, why do you shave off all your muff hair? For who are you doing it? Do you also shave when you are in the countryside and just wear slacks? The pussy lips of adult women are completely loose. Who finds it attractive with long, dangling, dingling, rinky, bluish pussy lips? Who finds that sexy? No, I'm a Jungle George. I don't care about what I look like down there. I would rather do other fun things than to clean and shave my coochie. Please, girls, when are you gonna start doing things for your own sake? End of quote. I mean, if there's anything you should do for your own sake, it's probably clean yourself. Yeah. Pretty traumatizing, pretty horrible, pretty hilarious, and pretty typical story about journalist ethics. Journalist ethics combined with projection. You based a whole career talking shit about women who contribute to so-called objectification, and then you just needed a little bit less of a salary, a little bit of a financial dip, and you immediately jump there yourself. It's just another reminder of how you should be suspicious of people who are too eager to judge. There's just something weird about that behavior, and it applies to a lot of feminists, sadly. Feminism is never really about women. They're just phrasing this in a confusing way because, according to feminism, it's all just based on whatever women feel like. If a woman feels like doing something, it's construed as empowering. But the very same thing can be construed as oppressive because some women might feel forced into that, whatever it is. So, it's just this painful, tedious back and forth that just reminds me of art, how art operates. Like, you can just make up any bullshit, give it any rationale, and make it sound important when it isn't. So, really, feminism is just for confused women. I think the story of the media feminist icon turned MILF porn star illustrates that quite well. So that's the lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed this completely absurd video. Before I leave, I just like to tell you that my merch store is back up. We got some classics here like Don't Bully Me, I'll Come, Property of State Mental Care, Autist Buddha, Eat My Ass, 100% halal certified, the Pepe of Sweden. Yeah, this is a fun way to contribute to my channel. Each purchase gives me a certain percentage. Feel free to look in the video description. Every donation helps me make more of this content. My Linktree has a bunch of nice perks. For any donation here gives you full access to my Discord, for example. And don't forget to give this video a like, as it will help my channel as well. All of this is a very simple way of giving back to the channel. Let me just see Let me just read a few of your comments before I get going on my way, because I have a few videos to make. Thanks a lot, you. Thanks for the donation, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I accept direct donations on PayPal. One-time donations and monthly donations are optional. You can find it all in the video description, and I really appreciate it. I'm gonna have to polish up my glasses. Is anyone really paying for that? See, guy, I don't want to find out. I don't want to visit her OnlyFans while I'm on live stream and the stuff. Who knows what you would see there? I feel like this is a case to apply. Curiosity killed the cat. She is GILF, not MILF. Yeah, no, 50 years old is getting up there. Definitely next level. This takes your mom jokes to the next level. Yeah, I feel bad for kids. That's kind of what makes it extra poor taste in your mouth, you know? Free kids? Well, I mean, imagine living in a world where your grandma just starts doing porn. That's weird. That isn't something anyone should ever have to worry about. It hasn't been before throughout history, but it is now. It is now. I am against porn, but I wonder if trafficking is the only problem these feminists have. How will they feel when AI porn starts to become a thing? The people are not real, so it can't be trafficking. Well, they'll just argue that it contributes to trafficking.
It's in women's likeness still.
It's a likeness still. It's like rape training. I remember seeing an essay by a feminist talking about how sex robots will basically be a form of decentralized Me Too. They can't say no, and so men are gonna learn that they don't have to respect no. I mean, sex robots are creepy, so maybe there's a point there. I mean, I think about it. Those like really realistic sex dolls and sex robots, that's basically like banging a corpse, isn't it? It's an inanimate object that's just lying there, and would probably feel like that too. Doesn't move a lot. Yeah, it would feel like you dug something up. And, you know, of course, I'm just comparing to my own experiences with all the skeletons. You've seen it. You've seen Day in the Life of Angry Foreigner. You know what it's about. You know what it's about. What is angry? Stop asking me about my OnlyFans link. I've made this very clear. It's in the video description. Go to my Linktree, and you will find all the juiciness you need to find. You know, I'm already making pornography for you right here, right now. It's the intellectual prostitution of getting you off. Hangry foreigner. I mean, that's my living. And I'm not complaining about it. I have more respect for honest whoring than media whoring. Maybe she will earn her first honest krona. Yeah. No, I agree. Really isn't that complicated. I can't believe that supposedly she still has a husband. Oy vey. Well, he's Swedish, so I'm sure he doesn't suffer from it. Well, I'm good to go. I hope you guys had fun watching, and I want you to check back on my channel real soon. I have numerous uploads planned this coming week, so if you don't see anything, then your notification settings are all wrong. And you need to click like more often so you fine-tune your settings. I assume. Give it a try, let me know. I hope you enjoyed my little presence, and have a nice week.